Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Rod Laver Arena. Please welcome, from Belgium, David Goffin, and his opponent, from Spain, Rafael Nadal.
After a long absence, tennis has finally returned to consoles with AO Tennis, marking the first major release for the sport to hit the PS4 and Xbox One. So after many years of being away, the question is, was AO Tennis worth the wait? AO Tennis is centered around the Australian Open, with the main features of the game deriving from the major tournament, including fully licensed courts in Australia such as the Rod Laver Arena and show courts. It is however missing the big courts such as Margaret Court and Hisense Arena. Apart from a Nadal Academy show court, there are no other licensed venues, with a generic French and Wimbledon court added. There is no US Open court. Licensed players in AO Tennis are few and far between, with the only top male player in the game being the world number one Rafael Nadal. Big names such as Andy Murray, Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, and Stan Wawrinka, and many more are all not included. There are no classic player options as well, and even the top Australian player Nick Kyrgios didn't make the game. The female side of things boasts a slightly stronger roster, with 3 of the top 10 women featuring, but star players such as the Williams sisters and Maria Sharapova and even their world number one are not featuring. To make up for a poor roster, AO Tennis does offer creator player options which can be uploaded for the community to download and play. Now while this seems great, there is very few customization options when you are creating a player, so whilst you can create these players, it's almost impossible to replicate a real life player. The roster could be bolstered in the future, with the developers scanning more players throughout the Australian Open and promising to add 2 months worth of free content in the next couple of months. So possibly it could improve, but for right now, the roster and the customization options are very poor. The key modes on AO Tennis is the Career and the Australian Open mode. The Open mode is pretty simple. You pick a player and you play the Australian Open tournament. Matches can vary from 1, 3 or 5 set matches, however you cannot shorten the game like other tennis games to make sets to the first to 3 or 4 games. This can cause matches to drag out for really long periods of time. Exhibition modes offer more variety, with shorter length singles games are available. Fast 4 and traditional length games are also available there as well. The main mode, however, to me is Career mode. In Career mode, you take control of an established player, or you can make your own as you play through tournaments and rise up the rankings. You'll earn in-game money that you can use to level up your player. However, there are no training modes or tutorials to help improve your game outside of the tournament. Career mode is definitely where this game is at its best, but playing through a 90-minute match in my first ever match in my career was pretty much a bit of a major turn-off. There is no way to shorten games to make it faster and more exciting. Instead, you'll be stuck playing many 3-set matches just to earn minuscule money to progress. If they did add an option for less games per sets, then I really believe Career mode could be a lot of fun. The presentation of this game is good without being great. Graphically, it looks okay, but really, you compare this to a PS3 game, it's not that much better, so really, tennis games haven't come that far yet in terms of graphics. The other areas of presentation, such as the in-game menus, they function pretty well, and the game provides all the sort of statistics that go along with their very simple HUD. Now honestly, I'm not sure whether the fact that there is no commentary in this game is a positive or a negative. Considering Ashes cricket commentaries from the same publisher, I'd say it's probably for the best. But unfortunately, whilst there is no commentary, the crowd in the game really don't make up for it. There is a lackluster applause after a long rally, and even when I was winning the Australian Open, the crowd barely reacted at all. It was like I just hit a double fault, but in reality I was winning the championship. I had just won the championship, but I was getting the same applause when I won the championship as I did in the first point of the match. This is also seen in between points, with little to no noise during set or championship points. It just makes the game feel very dull and doesn't really hype you up after you've done an epic point, or you've had a great rally, or you are getting close to winning a game. I've also had problems with the in-game sound cutting out for half a match, and also the menu music skipping. But let's be honest, they barely put any effort into their music, with the same tracks being heard on their other games such as Ashes Cricket and Don Bradman Cricket. Now onto the gameplay. I can't say that I hate the gameplay, but it's not exactly breathtaking. Everything runs just okay, the animations are decent, but lack any real variety or resemblance to the player attached to the shot. There's not much variety in the shots that you can play, because it feels like I'm just doing the exact same thing over and over and over. The controls in this game will be very familiar to many tennis players from the past, with the regular shots also available, such as slicing, lobs, topspin and straight shots, all available on your regular buttons such as X, square, triangle, and circle. The best shot that I could do in this game was probably the drop shot, which if done correctly is almost overpowered at times, with players struggling to run or change directions to get to the ball. This is probably the most frustrating thing about this game to me, the fact that it's so difficult to chase the ball, and also when you try to chase the ball, your player makes little to no effort at all to reach out for the ball or even dive. None of that is available when trying to hit the ball. So when you're trying to save a major point, well, your player just really lacks any effort or intent on trying to get to the ball. Frustration also occurs when your player just flat out refuses to play the shot that you've desired. You press the button to play the shot, but your player will just stand there and watch the ball sail straight past you, forcing you to lose that point. But to me, it's the inconsistency that makes it tough. At times, your player will just smash the ball straight into the net or past the baseline for no particular reason. You did exactly the same shot as you would have done just previously, but your player would all of a sudden just try and smash the ball as hard as they can, forcing you to lose the point just about every single time. Volley shots are almost impossible to play as well, with players often missing the ball or hitting the ball person behind the player instead of getting the ball into the court. AO Tennis is hardly the spectacular return that I was hoping for. It is a decent game at its core, but with a lack of star power and honestly, boring gameplay at times, it won't be a game that you'll be playing for long. If you're desperate to get back on the court on the PS4 and the Xbox One, then absolutely try this game out. But if you're looking for a classic of a sports game, then probably give this one a miss. At least until we find out what updates they bring out to this game for free, because after these updates, this game could definitely have a major improvement, but for right now, I probably wouldn't recommend it. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you leave a like on it and subscribe to see more videos from me coming up in the near future.